There is a moment in every band's story when the music stops being just music and becomes something much, much more. And so recently, Bruce Dickinson announced that he wants to completely retire one of Iron Maiden's most iconic early songs. For good. Not because it is too hard to sing, not because it doesn't fit the setlist, but out of pure respect to the man who came before him, Paul Di'Anno. So today, let's take a look at why Bruce Dickinson does not want to sing this song on the upcoming tour, its history, and then discuss some controversy around its actual origins. Here you go. So what happened? In a recent interview to Classic Rock magazine, Bruce Dickinson pointed out that if he ever owned Paul a song, it would be Remember Tomorrow. And although he of course can sing it, and he has done that multiple times before, Bruce Dickinson believes that Iron Maiden should leave the song with Paul now and never perform it on their upcoming tours. And here, first of all, I have to point out that I do actually agree with Bruce. Remember Tomorrow isn't just some deep cut from the debut album. It's a massive emotional anchor in Iron Maiden's early catalog. Originally written by Steve Harris and Paul Di'Anno, this track showed a completely different side of Iron Maiden back in 1980. Slow, spacey, dark, and atmospheric. It was a kind of song that made you realize that Iron Maiden were actually much more than just about speed and aggression. There was depth. In addition to everything, despite the whole fact that this song has been performed by multiple Iron Maiden vocalists, Remember Tomorrow has always been considered a Paul Di'Anno song. And that's exactly why I personally actually really hoped that Iron Maiden would perform it on their upcoming Run For Your Lives tour, as a tribute to the iconic first Iron Maiden studio vocalist. But what actually makes Remember Tomorrow so tied to Paul Di'Anno and his legacy, up to the point of Bruce Dickinson refusing to perform it on their upcoming Run For Your Lives tour in honor of Paul, after he of course sadly passed away last year? Well, here is where it becomes much more interesting.
Well.
Now, most Iron Maiden fans of course know Remember Tomorrow is a song dedicated to Paul Di'Anno's grandfather, who was a World War II pilot. Hence the phrases "the clouds take me higher" and "I shall return from out of the fire," representing the hope of the pilot that he will survive the next combat.
I shall return.
And this does of course make quite a lot of sense, especially given the fact that Paul Di'Anno actually did confirm it himself, as in one of the latter interviews he directly said that it was a song about his grandfather, whom he lost in 1980 while he was on tour. Yet at the same time, Paul says that the lyrics don't exactly relate to him, just the song's title, Remember Tomorrow, taken from a little catchphrase which he remembers his grandpa always repeated: "You never know what is going to happen. Remember tomorrow, it might be a better day." And so he just decided to keep it in his memory. But here's the thing. In one of the early interviews regarding this song, back in 1980, just shortly after Remember Tomorrow was released on Iron Maiden's self-titled debut album, Paul Di'Anno actually said that Remember Tomorrow was about giving up everything, saying nothing about his grandfather. Which of course simply could be the case because back then the wounds were still too fresh and he didn't just want to talk about it. But the thing is that although Remember Tomorrow was in fact released in 1980, Iron Maiden did actually perform this track way before that, with the very first live rendition that I at least know of and can confirm for sure, dating all the way back to September of 1979, so several months before 1980 and the tragic loss in Paul Di'Anno's family. Which may make us believe that Remember Tomorrow was not actually dedicated to Paul Di'Anno's grandfather back at the time of its release, and its lyrics and meaning have little to do with Paul's family, actual history, but rather the title itself, Remember Tomorrow, has been simply taken from a catchphrase Paul remembers his grandfather for, which of course does not take away from this song's greatness at all. But nevertheless, despite all that, Remember Tomorrow did become one of the most emotionally charged songs from Iron Maiden's early days. I mean, that's why Paul Di'Anno himself, before his own passing, has always dedicated this track to another late Iron Maiden member, the legendary drummer Clive Burr, after Clive left this world. And that's exactly why I personally think that yet another rendition of Remember Tomorrow at the upcoming Run for Your Lives tour would not hurt Paul's legacy at all. Quite the opposite. It would have been a beautiful tribute to the vocalist without whom Iron Maiden might have never actually become the band they are today. A tribute song by Bruce Dickinson, the voice of Iron Maiden for me, together with thousands of die-hard Iron Maiden fans in honor of legendary Paul.
Yesterday's sorrows, tomorrow's white lies.
But the most interesting thing is that in addition to being one of the first, if not the first song Paul Di'Anno wrote and recorded together with Iron Maiden, Remember Tomorrow also is actually one of the last songs this vocalist has ever recorded in his life, as just several months before his passing, on September 27th of 2024, Paul Di'Anno released the album The Book of the Beast, on which he reimagined two early Iron Maiden songs, which are possibly the most associated with Paul himself, those being Wrathchild and Remember Tomorrow, both of which he did with Black Sabbath ex-vocalist Tony Martin. And the thing is that, yes, maybe the actual history of the song is in fact quite different from the poetic story that has been told for years. Who cares? The truth is that this song, just like Wrathchild, is very much associated with Paul and nobody else. And that's why, even though I may not 100% agree with this decision, I do actually understand why Bruce Dickinson does not want to perform this song live ever again. Although, if we're being honest, his rendition of Remember Tomorrow has always been absolutely kick-ass. But what about you? What do you guys personally think about Remember Tomorrow being sacked from all of the future Iron Maiden shows? And what do you personally think this song is actually about? Please let us know in the comments. Oh, and also, by the way, if you're a patron or this YouTube channel member, you can also check out our new episode on all the songs Judas Priest ignored throughout the years. But be careful, it's over 30 minutes long!
Wow, that's a lot of words.
As always, thank you so much for watching this short video, guys, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!